What's up, guys? I'm making another video about a versus. And this versus is going to be Starcraft versus Halo. Now, many people immediately go to Halo because they know the franchise and they don't know anything about the other franchise, whether it's Halo or Starcraft. But I assure you that depending on what race you're fighting from Starcraft, it really does make a difference. For example, in my opinion, the humans in Halo, let's just say they won't really stand much of a chance at all. There are 3 races in Starcraft, and only 3 sides at least, not 3 races. Because I don't think the Zerg is only 1 race. You also have the humans, or the Terrans, that they're called in StarCraft. The Zerg, and the Protoss. They're more of an alien species as well. They're actually kind of similar to the elites, surprisingly. They're not as built, but they are just... They're kind of almost the same, actually. But I'll get into that in just a little bit. I want to get into the humans versus the StarCraft, or the what was it? The Terrans. The Terran. Okay, so the Terrans are humans, basically just extremely modified, kind of like the Spartans, actually, except for they're more built. They're definitely more built. There's also a very good indication that the Terrans would actually stand a very good chance against the Spartans, because they are the Terrans, or the Marines, I should say, not the Terrans. The humans in there, the Marines at least, are heavily built. Not something new to the Spartans, but they're not as fast, but they are more durable than regular units. And the regular units in StarCraft are the Marines. That is the basic unit in that section. Thing is, they're really versatile. They can shoot. They shoot 8mm. And I have went on to some sites and I've done some research, and I found out that the Spartans who use the assault rifle, that caliber is actually the same as the AK-47 7.62, which is actually very interesting. Which means humanity actually has a chance versus the Spartans and the elites, which is very interesting, in my opinion. The thing is, 8mm are still pretty strong. They are much bigger, obviously. But the thing is that I highly doubt the Spartans will last a very long time against Marines. Here's why. It's not because of their athletic ability. It's not because of their armor. It is because of the weaknesses of their armor. They have almost like a Kevlar kind of type armor, combined with titanium, obviously. Because how else is Master Chief going to survive all those shots? But that's kind of the point I'm trying to make. the amount of shots that the Marines can take versus the Spartans could take. Yes, if the Spartans get too close to the Marines, it will go to hand, but I think Master Chief will have a very easy time against some of the other guys, like some of the other Marines, but I highly doubt that he's going to be able to go up against multiple of them. They are Spartans, basically, just much stronger but slower. Stronger but slower Spartans. And they're very durable. And not only that, the thing is, usually the humans within the suits of armor, it takes about 20 minutes to get it on with help. Without help, it takes about an hour. So as you can tell, the armor is pretty complex to put on. Thing is, it's really heavily built. If you stab that, I'm pretty sure you're not going to be able to stab that with a regular knife. But if somehow you do, you're not even going to hit the person. The metal that is that the armor is made out of is most likely either titanium or reinforced iron. From what I've seen, they can take 8 millimeters without any problem. And that is very scary, since the Spartans couldn't even take 7.62s, which is pretty scary. And then we also have shotguns, and we have sniper rifles also to deal with. However, the thing is, I'm pretty sure most sniper rifles can, you know, if you pinpoint it, can definitely kill any of the elites. Even the elites would stand very little chance, because much like the assault rifle in Halo, I was about to say Star Wars for some reason, the 8 millimeter is much more of a powerhouse than the 7.62. Because it's an 8 mil, it has more recoil and requires a much bigger person to let it use it. Usually the humans in the armor are about 5 feet without any armor. However, with the armor, they can range from 7 to 8 feet. And all that, you technically do need to be really strong in order to even wield the armor. The armor is about a good solid, maybe 300 pounds on your shoulders the whole time. Thing is, the armor in Halo is, or what Master Chief and Spartans use, is the Mark IV, which is about a ton. Roughly about a ton, because of all the titanium and Kevlar-like armor. However, the thing about the reason why I'm saying it's a close fight, because yes, the humans will be really overwhelmed with the Marines. Like, that's just a basic unit. That's not even going into Thors or siege tanks or any of those. And if you are questioning my knowledge, I have 2 friends which are basically geniuses that I got the sources from. However, the calibers and the metals, I got it from other multiple sources, and more or less, they all agree with each other. So I'm just gonna go with it. And I don't really have anything else to add to that. Now, the martial arts part is very interesting. It's debatable, but usually the Marines go with brute strength over anything. And rightfully so. They can really do some damage to a lot of people. Sorry about that. Another thing that I do want to point out is the... Oh, what was it? Right. Let's talk about melee. Here's actually where Halo wins. Good job. There is no units in Starcraft except for the Zerg, or not in Starcraft, but in the human side, who use melee. Now, the Protoss are melee, are range, they use telekinetic powers, and they also use some other magic and technology. So, yeah, it's not exactly a fair fight usually. Okay, the elites are basically the Protoss, except for just downgraded, in speed at least. In strength, I'm pretty sure the elites are much stronger, but not in, like, I'm just talking about individual strength at least. If it's a whole group, then no. I highly doubt that the Protoss are going to lose to elites. The Protoss would challenge the Arbiter's speed, maybe even more than the Arbiter could handle, maybe. Because in StarCraft, when the Protoss were having a civil war against each other, there was one scene, it was one of the most elite in their army. She took 3 of her own out within 5 seconds, and they were all 20 not meters, but 20 feet away from each other. How she did that is beyond my understanding, but she's very fast, and she had, in order to take a Protoss down, you obviously need to kill it. No duh, science right there. But the thing is, the Protoss have armor that, if used correctly, rejects bullets and also rejects melee hits from others. The most amount of melee that one can use would definitely be the Templars. And the Templars are very, very strong. However, if a Dark Templar and a regular Templar, or a High Templar I should say, if they joined forces, they could form into one being and make, and that being would be able to use telekinetic powers, which is extremely helpful, especially in situations versus the elites. The Covenant, as I'm always rambling about, have brutes, they have elites, they have grunts, hunters, jackals, and that's basically all I know. There's about a good solid 16 or 20 other races, but those are just the ones I know. But I'd like to see the humans versus the Spartans, and the Marines in Halo don't have a chance versus the Marines in StarCraft. And I highly suggest that the ODSs, ODTS or whatever they are, the special elite group, also don't really have that great of a chance versus them, simply because of the armor and the weaponry. I see very little chance versus Starcraft winning in this match. Oh, losing in this match, I'm sorry. However, the Spartans do have a very solid player, Master Chief, and the Arbiter. But the thing is, for how much they're awesome, they wouldn't really be that great in there. But I'm not going to talk about unit versus unit. I'm talking about weapons and armor. The weapons in the Protoss are basically Halo, or not Halo, but they are plasma as well, and they come from the overarm, right above the hand, underarm, overarm, whatever. The top of the arm, there a piece of blade can come out. Now this blade is not metal. It is made out of plasma, which is the same substance that the energy sword is made out of. So it could stop it and it can combat it. However, the thing is, it's just as long. However, there's two that the Protoss can use. Not only that, the Protoss are about 7 to 8 feet tall, so they do measure in height pretty well. The problem is that even though the Covenant and the the Covenant and the humans are two sides, Starcraft has 3 sides, and one of the side, the Zerg, the main enemy of everything, would completely destroy both sides. Let me explain. You can go to YouTube and review some of the monsters in the Zerg, and it would be just incredible if the Covenant and the the Covenant and the humans, if they joined up, they still would not match the Zerg. That's basically what I'm saying. The Zerg, all they have to do is just build up a bunch of numbers, and yes, those numbers can come out in like a couple of seconds. Have you ever seen Starcraft 2? As soon as the mothership comes out of nowhere, Vikings start to attack it. Now, Vikings are kind of like Transformers. They have 2 modes. They have vehicle mode, and then they have transformed mode. Transform mode has 2 miniguns on both arms. There's also Hellbats. And the Vikings also have a flying mode, obviously. Now, the siege tanks are high damage dealers, and when they go into their second form, they can't move, but they can do more damage than their regular form. Snipers, or no, not snipers, ghosts are much more powerful as well. They can send down... Let me just stop right there. They have sniper rifles. The caliber I'm not too sure of, but I would say somewhere around a 50 cal. So 1 shot, 1 kill, basically. However, in StarCraft, you're not going to get a 1 shot, 1 kill. You have to shoot him about 5 different times in 5 different areas in order to take a bastard down. But the thing is, that's just the humans. That's... The Ghost can turn invisible. He has a sniper rifle that's very powerful, can send tactical nukes and put barricades. There's also widow mines, which is basically bombs underground, and as soon as you walk over them or trample over them, you die. They do very high damage, obviously. And there's very little, I mean, they are small and they are easy to kill, but once they bury underground, it's just don't go in that area or you will die. You douche. Another thing are the let me just get to the Zerg, because I am kind of all over the place. I'm not really into one area. Oh, don't shoot me. No. Stop it. Don't look at me. I don't even like you. Yeah. You jerks of rockets. The Zerg have Zerglings and Baelings. Zerlings are the really small guys that you see sometimes. Overwhelming numbers is their best friend, and they do high damage with some sort of like really sharp tip from their tails. They are very deadly, especially in numbers. A group of Zerglings can take out an entire base within a minute, even if the base is 100% prepared for a fight. And then you have the Baelings, which basically are acid-filled aliens that are suicidal. And we think our schools and bullying is suicidal. The reason why these guys are so dangerous is because they don't even need... Their purpose is to die on you. Upon you. They die upon you and spread their love, also known as acid. No. And also, I'm being attacked from all corners. Awesome. This is what War Robots is. Yay! Stop it flashing. Okay, kill him. Also, even War Robots wouldn't stand a good chance against... actually, at all. That War Robots wouldn't stand a chance at all against Starcraft. Starcraft also has the Infectors, which can basically take over any bio or technological unit with their massive infectionary... It's kind of like they're hitting you, and as soon as they hit you, they control you. Like you're some kind of robot for them, or something like that. And they are very dangerous, and they are very powerful. Simply because they can just take over a Wraith or a Warhog and use that against their own allies. And not only that, right after they're done infecting the ally now becomes, well, the Zerg's ally. And the Zerg all know this and will probably feast on your bones and muscle. What a wonderful story to tell your kids, eh? Now, another thing that you may or may not want to do when the Zerglings are here is try to melee them. because the Zerg are basically melee, like specialists almost. They're very dangerous, obviously. Oh, let's get to the Ultralisk. The Ultralisk, I should say. Yeah, I think that's how you say it. The Ultralisk is that giant monster that comes out of nowhere and stomps on the siege tank in Starcraft. They are very, very strong, and once you get one of them out there, it's a pretty good chance that it's basically game over for you. Especially if you're on the other side. They are massive, and they are very deadly. And they are very tanky as well, so even Thors. Oh yeah, Thors as well can hold back some of the Covenant. Thors are basically giant robots that can hold off lots of things, really. But the thing about the Thor is he uses miniguns and he uses rockets to single shoot you. And he does a lot of damage, obviously. Okay, you need to die. Also, one other thing is that once the Queen of Blades is released, there's not much you can do to kill her. She doesn't really have a good weakness that you can exploit, so there's not really much hope for you there. And also, she is very, very, very strong. She ripped open a welded titanium door open like it was nothing with her wings, which I think is her most powerful tool, I guess you could say. You need to die. And also, she actually flew through a Thor like nothing. And when I say flew through a Thor, she literally flew through a Thor. And which was very impressive. And then she used telekinetic powers to lift everyone up and kill them. No, she didn't force choke them, Star Wars fans. She actually literally compressed their bodies up against their own machine. Which was very fun, I believe. Another thing is, let's talk about Banshees, and let's talk about some more vehicles, such as Banshees and super carriers. They would be very effective, obviously. But if they're going up against the Zerg, the point of the Zerg is literally to control and not really control. They can control a super carrier, but it would just take some time. And also the Zerg adapt. So when Halo starts fighting back with their plasma weapons and humans fight against the Zerg with their bullets. Oh yeah, bullets are very ineffective against the Zerg. Even the 8 mils. So, yeah. The thing about the Zerg, it does work. Bullets do work. It's very, very ineffective. You'd have to put about 20 or so bullets into one of the Zerg in order to kill it. I hope this is a good... Oh yeah, and also the Zerg are not dimensional, but they can go into space and they can take over other planets. And if they have the numbers, which most of the time they do, and even if they don't, it literally just takes like 5 seconds in order to make a Zerg army I'm not over-exaggerating, then that planet is gone. There's literally no taking it back. Protoss also have motherships that they can go to summon more units and to make a ground army invisible. The whole thing. So if you take a mothership and you have the mothership surrounded by Halo units and human units like Spartans and all those others, as soon as the mothership starts attacking one side and the Halo units start going into the area, they will instantly die because they can't see all the invisible units. It could be Zerg, it could be humans, and it could be even Protoss. That is my explanation. There's also other things such as the Halo rings that I have not mentioned. However, I highly doubt it's going to be even a factor, because the Zerg can go away, so can the humans, and so definitely the Protoss. They can cross dimensions. So I don't think the Halo rings are that much of an effective weapon, especially against the Zerg or the humans, or any really, or the Protoss. Also, then you have space battles. You have Brute Lord, wait, what was it? It's Brutal Lords. Yes, Brutal Lords. Who are flying, who are basically dragons. Except for the thing is, they don't breathe fire. They literally throw giant meat cleavers at you, which can take multiple people down. And they are very good at flying, because they, fly. So basically, I give Halo Halo versus Starcraft a 1 out of 10 scenario. The reason why I give it a 1 out of 10 is because I'm not really that doubtful of Star Wars. Halo, I'm sorry. Halo does have pretty strong people in it. The Brutes can definitely hold their own against Templars, maybe. But not the Zerglots. The Marines as well, they can hold their ground against the Marines. Well, depending on how many, at least. Yeah, that's basically all I have. I don't know what the Prophets are gonna do against Zerglings, because they're not exactly gonna be able to do jack. That is my video. Subscribe and tell me in the comment what you think about this video and who you think this winner is. Bye.